Synergetics Century, May 31st, 2017. Omniscient Universe Church, 27. 12 fundamental degrees of freedom. With all the infighting, righteous indignation spewing forth from every positional assumption of superiority, like seemingly indescribable toxic waste, what is a mind to do in the relative insanity? Is intellect actually trying to fit universe with the highest heights of its cleverest politics, its variously tempered holier-than-thou religion, its adjusted values of what justice supposedly stands for? Or is intellect's most invested patriotic fervor eagerly upholding traditionally tried and true military solutions that humans of a mind are assured by, since someone must already know what, where, when, and why? So why not try once again to make all the asymmetries fit universe, like trying to put all the frayed and tattered edges back together again for a more perfect fit? Perhaps it is the eternal omniscient mind that is of no interest because the very thought of its integrity does not fit the manifest forms to which our humanity has subconsciously adapted, regardlessly that such reality is based in disinformation. Besides, the more symmetrical, the more reproducible when it comes to fitting universe, unlike the asymmetries that do not fit universe at all. Don't most of us unknowingly rely on information for calculating critical survival criteria? Information from every source to any venue can keep humans busy while also promoting God. Even the stand-up comics' godless audience hilariously laughing at the mere mention of his name. This goes on everywhere now, as the reactionary terrorists, whose misguided mission positions him randomly to destroy whole lifetimes in increasing numbers in the name of God and patriotism. When, I must ask, will there ever be more than a modicum of common sense among us? The Homo sapiens is the name of our species, humans of a mind, who arrived over periods of evolution to supplant the less intelligent man surviving them. Our species is known to be the humans of a mind. Awareness of this anthropological conclusion recently became relevantly known, coincidental to the Synergetics Century. It clarifies and validates intellection's already identified omniscient mind that heretofore may have been alluded to in the English language by the sound word God. But the sound word God in every language typically induces similar feelings as a sense of the Almighty, to whom humans as believers in Him everywhere subject themselves to worshiping in some designated place and ritual. Added to the artifacts of ritual is the belief of Allah's power, God's power, the power from Jesus Christ to love and to forgive. God's power extends itself to warring factions for quelling the disturbed living habitats by disturbed mindsets, those on either side of the enmity field, riled up by hating, killing, maiming, feeling torn between unsorted chaos that reverberates in harmonious tones, reveling and ramping, marching and tramping, exploding, imploding, calling into the fray every hope for a weapon to resolve the conflict, further testifying to positional differentials, repositioning, juxtaposing, upending, defeating, winning, losing, ad infinitum. This continues between the furious and the pacifists. Over various lengths of active, inactive investments of time, the lull between rising and receding tides of fervent anguish arousing men to war on every measurable scale of influence. Such interactions cannot also be referential to the positional differentials in universe that derives only from the sixness of the 12 degrees of freedom. Synergetics 537.07 through 09. Awareness of universe's 12 degrees of freedom is conceptual in respect to omnidirectionality and the vector equilibrium. Surely, since its interpatterning behavior embraces the three-dimensionality of the cube and the six-dimensionality of the vector equilibrium, then what other frame of reference is in a self-perpetuating conflict with God at the apex of its hierarchical positioned differentials? Or has the PRJMBSC adapted to the God of its invention that seems to have fitted the human imagination's storytelling propensity to make it up, whatever the image might be, from Adam's rib in the Garden of Adam and Eve's Eden to Allah's harem of virgins in paradise? From a resurrected Jesus Christ to his virgin mother, from one prophet, a self-proclaimed Messiah, to the emulating prophets whose similar tale-telling permits law-making power according to the Almighty, whom in heaven awaits every man, woman, and child as the final judge of their wanton or benevolent behavior. He casts from that purely imaginary place, way out beyond the clouds, those he deems unworthy of heaven, of paradise, eternity, that only befit the well-deserving rewarded thus to utter bliss and all else that the longing heart hopes to achieve after death. For surely it does not seem possible during a lifetime, except perhaps in tiniest increments when all is well in the world and happiness endures. The outcasts are sent way below down into the eternal damnation to elicit what the imagination pictures as a fiery pit of hell. Variations of the human invented story goes on throughout the ages. It consumes imagination's longing to know the fullest extent of its experiential experimental nature, until, that is, humans of a mind, the eternal omniscient mind, already has distinguished God from religion, differentiating the omniscience from omnipotence in an evolved understanding that omniscience is transcendental in its velocity to the physical speed of all radiation. From then on, humans of a mind, the eternal omniscient mind, is not satisfied that the man-invented God, the Allah of the PRJMBSC, has everyone's survival in mind in a world that can work for everyone. It must be without misinformation, disinformation, that God, by whatever sound word, apparently is basically ignorant of the 12 universal degrees of freedom. Therefore, while yes, everything in universe is divisible by 2, we must also inquire about the number of moves with vector equilibrium in our individual metaphysical generalized conceptioning field of thought. The number never changes. It is always of the same topological constant relative abundance, with 6 vectorial moves for every event. Whenever there is an event, the system regenerates itself, remember? Each move is reversible. Therefore, the number is 12. It is the 6 positive and 6 negative that add to 12 fundamental degrees of freedom. Thank you.